Welcome back to Moody Talk Sports, Friday show. So that means we're making our picks for tomorrow, October 18th, for the college games. I've had a losing record for the last 3 weeks when it comes to these college games, but I've had a winning record in NFL. So I'm trying to turn that around. I'm going to go against the grain, do some things I wouldn't normally do. Let's go ahead and dive right into this and get in. Yeah, here goes nothing. Anyway, Louisville going into Miami. I'm going to take Miami minus the 12.5. I think Louisville's a decent team, but Miami right now I have as my number one. And I think it's only fair that if I'm going to stand on the table every week and put them at number one on my top 10 college teams list, 12.5 points should be nothing for them, especially at home with Louisville coming in. I mean, again, Louisville's a good team. I don't think they're a great team. But if I'm going to puff out my chest and say that every week, I think I have to confidently say they're going to cover that 12.5 points. I think it's only fair. Then we have Nebraska, who is a great team, going into Minnesota. I'm going to take Nebraska minus the 7.5. Nebraska's only loss, I think, was to Michigan, if I believe, and I think they're a solid team. I really do. I think they're going to go into Minnesota and really run the table. I think it's going to be a 10 to 14 point game, so I think that'll be no problem. Georgia Tech, plus 2.5 over Duke. Now, listen, I understand Duke has a decent team this year, but I think people are undervaluing Georgia Tech. I've been taking Georgia Tech for the last few weeks on 20-point, 24-point lines, and they continue to hit for me. And I'm sorry, but if you're going to give me points with Georgia Tech, I just don't think a lot of people realize how good of a team they are. So, yeah, I'm going to take them plus the points. LSU going into Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, I'm going to take minus the 1.5. LSU is one of those teams I'm still not exactly sure how good they are. I just see a lot of up and down. Vanderbilt's been pretty solid. I like what they're doing. Them being at home, I give them just the slight advantage, but we'll see. Oklahoma going into South Carolina. I'm going to take South Carolina plus 5.5. I was big on Oklahoma last week, but after that stinker they put up against Texas, I've lost a lot of... and don't get me wrong, I know Texas is a good team. I know their defense is legit. But I lost a lot of respect for Oklahoma after that, and so I'm just not for sure. And South Carolina is one of those sneaky good SEC teams. 5.5 points. I'm going to go ahead and go against the grain and take them. Texas A&M going into Arkansas. Arkansas is another sneaky good SEC team. They get overlooked because the conference is so powerful. But here's the thing. Texas A&M is supposed to be kind of a juggernaut. A lot of people look at them as a contender, and I'm sorry, but a contender should be able to put up at least double digits of a lead when it comes to a team like Arkansas, even if you're on the road. So this is kind of one of those statement games for them. I hope they make one. Next up, we have Ole Miss going into Georgia. Ole Miss actually is getting 6.5 points, and that's so crazy to me because all year long I've kind of kept Ole Miss at like 7 or 8 on my top 10. And what do I keep telling you guys? I got to see a statement game. I just haven't seen that game from them where I go, okay, they're legit. Here's your opportunity. First of all, if you can cover that 6.5. Second of all, why don't you just go in and beat them? But covering the 6.5 would be very important. If you lose by double digits, I'm probably going to have to kick you out of the top 10. Next up, we have Michigan State going into Indiana. And look, Indiana, you guys know I love Indiana. I've been talking great about them all year. I'm going to go ahead and take Indiana minus the 27.5. Their head coach just got an 8-year deal, $93 million or something like that. I think they're riding high. They're at home. I think it's going to be packed. I'm expecting a really big blowout. I'm expecting like a 63 to 70 point game from Indiana, so we'll see. Next up, we have Ohio State going into Wisconsin. Again, I'm going to take Ohio State minus the 25.5. This is supposed to be the best team. Everyone keeps telling me it's the best team. So I'm going to trust you all. I'm going to take them. I expect it to be a blowout based on what I see from Wisconsin. Memphis going into UAB. Look, Memphis is one of those teams that's actually sneaky, really, really, really darn good. I know they haven't played anybody big because they're Memphis. I get that. But, I mean, they look good. They look really good. I'm going to go ahead and ride with them. I think it's going to be a 24 to 30 point game. I'm going to take the lay the points. A little nervous about that. I wish it was 20, but that's why the people in Vegas know what they're doing, I guess. Texas Tech -7 going into Arizona State. Now, look, Texas Tech blows almost everybody out. They have one of the most prolific offenses I've seen. 7 points shouldn't be a big deal for them. I know Arizona State's pretty good. I know Arizona State's at home. I don't care. Texas Tech should go in there and should be able to put up a double-digit victory. Washington State going into Virginia. I'm not sure how good Virginia is, to be honest with you. I'm going to go ahead and take Washington State plus the 17.5. I'm just going to take the points. I'm really nervous about this. This is one of those I don't know a ton about, but we'll see. I'm just trying to go against the grain here. Then we have Texas going into Kentucky. I'm going to take Kentucky plus 12.5. I'm still not exactly sure how good Texas is. I'm not exactly sure how good Arch Manning is. Again, Kentucky is one of those SEC teams that's sneaky, that's really good, but because they're in that powerhouse division, a lot of people just overlook them. But Kentucky's looked really good this year, and I think they can keep it within 10, so I'm going to bank on that. Next up, we have USC going into Notre Dame. I love Notre Dame, and I'm not real big on USC, but I think USC is going to keep it within a touchdown. So 9.5, I'm going to take those points. Tennessee going to Alabama, plus 8.5 for Tennessee. Really? I'm going to take the 8.5. I mean, Tennessee's a darn good football team. They've only lost to Georgia. They shouldn't have lost to Georgia. Alabama, I know, has been on a tear. I know a lot of people love Alabama right now, but 8.5 is just too many points. I'm going to take them. Florida Atlantic going into South Florida. South Florida has been blowing out every single team they play. 21.5 is nothing for South Florida. I'm gladly going to lay those points. This could be another 60, 70-point game for South Florida. They just continue to keep putting those up. Yeah, I definitely am taking those, or laying those points 100%. Missouri going into Auburn. I still think Missouri's a great team. They played Alabama tough. I know it was kind of a backdoor cover. I don't care. I think Missouri's great. I'm going to go ahead and bank with them minus the 1.5. Auburn looked a little sloppy last game. I'm just not sure if they can continue on. I think they're a great team. I just don't know if they're an excellent team. I don't know if they can get over that hump, but we'll see. Cincinnati going into Oklahoma State. Look, I don't know. I'm going to go against the grain again because I've had such a bad record. Plus 23.5. I'm just going to take the points. I'm hoping for, a closer game. We'll see. Utah going into BYU. Normally I would take BYU at home. I'm going to go ahead and take Utah. Utah has looked really, really, really good. I'm going to go ahead and take them minus the 3.5, and I'm going to bank on them winning by a touchdown. Those are my picks. We'll see how they go. I'm trying to get a winning record. At least close to 500 would be really nice, but we will see. Hey, enjoy family and friends and football this weekend. Enjoy it. Hang around your family and friends. Take the time. Spend the time with them. Enjoy the football. God bless you all. I will see you tomorrow for my NFL picks.